Now we're going to see the pathogenesis of disseminated intravascular coagulopathy. So in the previous video we saw it like completely with the treatment presentation. Here I wanted to talk about the mechanism. So we could have sepsis, endothelial injury, endotoxins, and what would be sepsis, trauma, many things. All these would lead to, at the end, activation of the coagulation cascade, and this would lead to microvascular thrombosis or thrombus in the microvasculature. So this would lead to 1. Consumption of platelets and coagulation factors. Another is because there is thrombosis, there could be ischemia and necrosis. So, ischemia and necrosis. Also here, the red blood cells that pass here very close to a thrombi, here, they will get hemolyzed or lysed because it's something like the red blood cell is passing through the thrombi like this, and so this is called the microangiopathic hemolytic anemia that we see in all the diseases that causes the disseminated intravascular coagulation or disseminated intravascular coagulopathy. We will see this in many diseases. So we have ischemia on one side. On the other side, we have decrease in the platelets and coagulation factors, and we have the anemia. Also, the activation of the coagulation cascade or the thrombi activates the contrary, that is plasmin. Plasmin will produce fibrinolysis, and will decrease the aggregation of platelets, destruction of thrombin and other coagulation factors, and all this will lead to bleeding. Also, the bleeding comes because we are consuming the platelets and the coagulation factors, and so at the end we have bleeding and thrombosis. The thrombosis would lead to ischemia and necrosis. Could be a infarction, a stroke, or if it is in the vein, would be pulmonary deep vein thrombosis or pulmonary embolism. Superficial would be thrombophlebitis, and the anemia, microangiopathic hemolytic anemia. Now, this is the pathogenesis. We begin with sepsis, trauma, endothelial injury, and all these end up activating the coagulation cascade, and from here we go consumption coagulopathy, thrombosis, anemia, ischemia, necrosis, and the contrary, that is because we are activating the coagulation cascade, we also are activating the, let's say, the inhibitory of the coagulation cascade, and at the end we have also bleeding. The causes we already talked about them could be pancreatitis, acute respiratory distress syndrome, amniotic fluid, rhabdomyolysis, massive head trauma, and a large aortic aneurysm.